Hi everyone! Welcome to Vizlib Appy Hour. We're on episode 28, and this is the show where we help you make your data talk. So sit back, grab a drink, and join along. Hey Joe, how are you today?
Jane, Happy New Year. Doing
Yes.
great. Can't believe we're into year 2 of Appy Hour and 28 episodes now, so that's awesome.
Yes, this is awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so glad we started doing this. This is my New Year's resolution is going to be keep making Appy Hour more appy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you have
It's been a fun ride, definitely. So I'll go over this in a little bit, but yeah, I think I know what you're getting to. I have a jug of new stuff, but I heard you have an interesting drink today.
Yes, and I put it in a little chalice so it looks extra fancy. But it's lemonade, but it's like it's not like American lemonade. They just sell this in stores, and it's like a fizzy lime drink. It's pretty cool.
It doesn't look yellow, bright
No,
yellow
it
or
doesn't.
anything like that.
No, it's just like a little bit fizzy.
But it is lemon flavored. Is it warm? Because I heard they drink warm lemon water.
Do they? Is that a thing?
I think it is. Ask some of the people in the office. They're like, this is what you need, some warm lemon water. Ugh, that doesn't sound great. Jane, where's the milk drink? People are asking. Yeah, what was that? I caught that last week. Some fizzy yogurt drink or something you had?
Milkus. It's Milkus.
Milkus.
They're not a sponsor, but it's delicious. If they want to sponsor us, let me know. I'll just drink that every day.
I'm not sure I even like the name. It doesn't sound that appealing.
I don't think I'm saying it right. It might be like Milkus.
Milkus? Yeah, maybe.
Milkius?
I have I used to do this a lot. I'll drink coffee, and I've been a big coffee fan for a while, but when I started at my really first job out of college, people were getting coffee like crazy in the break room, and I'm like, I just don't like the taste of it. So I would go get hot chocolate just so I could hang around and have something to drink in the break room while they're all sipping their coffee. Then I started adding just a little bit of coffee each time I'd get hot chocolate, and by like the second year in, it was just all coffee and no flavor, nothing. And that's where it turns. So now I'm back to adding a little bit of chocolate, and maybe I can swap it back. So I'm drinking less coffee overall, and I can not feel my heart race as much.
You know what I used to do with coffee?
Yeah.
I used to put I couldn't wait for it to get cool, so I just put in ice cream, and then you can just mix up the flavors.
Ooh.
It's a game changer, guys. If you have no time in the morning, just put a scoop of ice cream in your coffee. It's amazing.
You always have ice cream available, don't you?
Yeah. Just put it in the coffee. Yeah.
Oh, Kaushik saying hi.
Hi.
One of our legends. Haven't seen him in a while, but great to have him on board. And we'll keep the comments open. So, feel free to add in what you're drinking. But you want to take us through? Well, actually, before we jump into today's episode, right, I wanted to maybe recap what we had for Appy Hour all last year, 27 episodes. As people might guess, we keep track of the data. So I created this app not that long ago, played around with some things. And out of 27 episodes, we had over 8,000 views, which I think is incredible. And Twitch, that one's your baby, right, Jane? Like, we got to be streaming on Twitch. So with no advertising, no money thrown at it, you generated a Twitch channel that we have a bunch of the legends, I think, are on there and pretty active. And people probably created a Twitch account just to watch, which is awesome. So that one's just growing organically. We know we have LinkedIn, where people are most likely watching the Vizlib stuff, and then also in the YouTube channel. So I broke out those with the same colors for each episode. And the darker the tiles are here, is more views. So Josh and I did the Squid Games one, and I think we probably hit it like right when Squid Games was pretty fun. Still is an interesting show if you haven't seen it. So we got good views. But another one was, I think this is our second most, designing better KPIs. Let's click that one. You and I ran that one, right? Or did we have a guest for it?
I think it was just you and me.
5, episode 11. Vizlibify, Joe and Jane. The special for this Appy Hour, Oh yeah, that was definitely that one. We did all stuff on the library, so we may want to go back and do like episode 2, designing a better KPI, because that seems pretty popular.
Yeah,
What was
I
your
mean,
favorite episode, you think? Last
I really enjoyed doing the KPI one. I think watching that back was pretty fun. But actually, the New Year's one from yesterday, not yesterday, last week,
week?
it was really fun. I think that we had a lot of fun doing that. The banter was great. I mean, but overall, I think all of these are so fun. That's the thing I like the most. It's not scripted. We just go in, we just talk, have a nice conversation. And yeah, I learned so much too from it.
I mean, looking back at the titles of these things and like what we worked on, um, it's hilarious. And I tell people now, I like describe what my job is based on some of these things, like, oh, we analyze UFO sightings data and we found some really interesting insights, and it's not what you expect. And they're like, what are you talking about? You actually do that? Or yeah, what's the other one that I really liked? The trip planning one that you did with Pierce and
Yes,
Luke, or was it just Pierce?
it was just Pierce.
It's been a year, so um, that one was awesome, just to see how we could use it for like your personal life and the data there. So we had a lot of fun. We'll keep adding to this. Is there a Vizlib Twitch account that I can follow too? Somebody's asking.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is. It's do you say at? Is it an at? Well, it's just
Vizlib
Vizlib. Yes, Vizlib_Jane. There it is. We will pop it up on the screen, and yeah, that's it. You can just follow there. We've got 50 followers now, so you'll be our 51st.
Ooh, and for people that know Twitch, right? You're really close to becoming what is the next level? Affiliate?
Yes.
Where like your content, as long as you stream consistently, you get boosted to the next level. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Soon I'll be a Twitch athlete. I think that's what they're called. So is that what they're called? Is that a thing?
You're not a Twitcher. That's the one thing I think I learned from last year. We're not twitching. We're on Twitch. So that's hilarious. If anybody wants access to this app where we have the details, I'll share it on Qlik Sense, like on the cloud, and we'll get people access to it so you can kind of dive in and out. Again, could probably make it a lot more interactive based on the episodes of Appy Hour we've had, where you could like click on a tile and actually watch the video. So I could spend some quality time on that one.
Yeah, I mean, we did have Cloudinary come in where you can input video, so that's something really great we can do.
Episode 10 with Cloudinary, videos and tables, with Nico, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in this. So, and I use, Nevo, sorry. I knew I had it. I was close. We use this to just go in and capture. There's no great way I found yet of pulling data off of LinkedIn automatically. So I have to go in and record some of these things from time to time. But it keeps it fun, and we get to kind of see where our highlights are for the year. So I'm hoping this number we can just kind of blow out of the water this year and double it at least, and get some more people following us. But I've had a blast with this. So thank you again for, starting this program last year and seeing what it's turned into.
Yes. Thank you for joining and making this and producing everything. Producing is so difficult.
So much fun though. I actually love it. It's just so different than anything else I think I've ever done. And just kind of see everything flying in and live. It's great. It's not that bad. If you can build a Qlik app, you can run a live stream for sure.
Okay, that's great. If anyone else wants to start a Twitch, yeah, ask Joe. He knows everything about it.
We'll follow you, definitely.
Yeah. And
so
if
you want to get us into what we're covering today?
Definitely. Before that, if anyone has suggestions for future episodes, we're making a schedule. Everything is so flexible. If you want to join also and share your knowledge, it doesn't just have to be Vizlib, just anything surrounding data. We'd love to hear from you. You can find us at Vizlib_Jane on Twitch, and all our contact information is on there. So
good call out. Yep.
Definitely let us know. And today we're going to be talking about airline data. This is airline sentiment data that was gathered from Twitter. And we're doing this because I just traveled and it was so rough. So I want to know what other people are saying as well.
So you're back in Paris now.
Yes.
And you were there and then came back for just a couple weeks, right? So you had, I imagine, a very different experience coming back than you had going back to Paris, right? Like coming back to the US.
Yes, I mean, I left Charles de Gaulle, which is in Paris, and they closed, there's 3 terminals. They closed 2 of them. So everyone flying for the holidays was going out of 1 terminal. It was so busy. I've never seen an airport this busy. I'm so surprised I didn't get like COVID or get sick because we were
Yeah.
all we couldn't walk. It was insane. And yeah, I was flying United, which we'll see their data today, but it was crazy. There were so many people. Someone behind me actually missed their flight because they couldn't check in on time because just check in took 2 hours. Yeah, it was
So
insane.
stressful. Yeah.
And
Not a
then
good experience. And then on your way back, how was that? Different? Like
so
different
many
security to go into France than it was to get back into the US?
The security was okay. It was mainly they canceled a lot of flights. So normally you can take like a morning or an evening flight, but they canceled a lot. So I spent 8 hours in Dulles, uh, just to hang out. I was just hanging out in Dulles, and it was completely empty. I traveled on New Year's, so the eve to the day, and yeah, it was completely empty. But I think it was just because everything was canceled.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it out and you didn't get stuck and canceled because, having to plan for that is never great. So I'm sure, is your data that you have fairly recent too? Will we see any of that, you think?
No, I believe it's quite old, but I
Oh,
think the sentiment might be the same. And
yeah.
if anyone here has the same sentiment as what we're gonna see, let us know.
Yeah,
Yes.
Michael says traveling right now is horrendous. I try to avoid it as much as possible. Um, I used to travel a lot. Like prior to Vizlib, that was a almost weekly thing at times. So I miss some of it, but I'm sure with the stories and sentiment, we'll see. Probably hit a lot of it too, where you just run into unanticipated things. It's easy to blame the airport or the airline, but usually they are at fault. So it'll be interesting to see this data. We had people also write in just before in the LinkedIn page, and I don't think it's coming through here yet, but we have people vote on like their favorite airport. Um, a lot of people and mine as well as in Singapore. It's just such a really interesting airport with so many different things to do that are just remove all the stress of travel. It's fun to just walk around. Um, nobody wrote like their worst one other than Andy. He said Philly's airport. He hates it, but it's home. So I feel like there's probably a lot of that. Like it's your airport in and out, the one that you might fly of regularly. Is it your favorite one? Mine in Madison used to be. No, it definitely wasn't. It was too small. Always delays. The food wasn't that great just because they didn't have enough restaurants. Versus where I was going was always a little bit better.
A little bit more hectic, but a little more
Yeah, and
fun.
you have RDU that you fly out of, right, in Raleigh?
Yes, I know that one pretty well. That one's very easy. Like the parking is so great. That's a
Yeah.
great, I mean, I wish they did more international flights, but it's a great airport just to go anywhere in the US.
Yeah, I would go there to visit the Qlik headquarters in the US originally was in Raleigh. And so I'd be going there every once in a while. And yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was very, very bright compared to some like dark and dingy airports. And I think I flew on American, so I never had any issues because United wasn't big there for me, luckily. So this is all built from scratch too, right? You have the
Yeah.
data.
Yes.
Do you want to take people through? I don't see any other comments coming in yet, but there's stories there. So feel free to write in like, what is your favorite airport in the world? Maybe we can search for some of that as Jane's building this out. And also, I think there's airline specific data. I saw a little bit of it, right, as a preview where people are talking about United, or I think I saw JetBlue. Never flown on JetBlue, so I don't know if I'm supposed to like it or hate it.
I've always liked JetBlue.
Yeah.
I thought JetBlue was pretty good. We'll start with a table. Um, I've always liked starting with the table. I think it just lets people know what is going on in the data. So yeah, we have tweet ID, we have the actual sentiment, and the confidence of the sentiment, like how confident they are with what they think the tweet is saying, and the negative reason, the confidence, and yeah, airline. You have the name of the tweeter, the tweeter.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's what I would. I'm a tweeter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm showing my age.
The account.
And yeah, the text. So and last week for the New Year's episode, Cody actually came up with a suggestion to recreate a Twitter feed using tiles, and I thought, what a great idea. I think that would be something really fun that we could do.
Nice. Okay. I like that. I also have, after we've been talking about like what's the first visualization you throw on the screen, I think a table is probably the best one, just to get like the shape of the data, what's in there. And you built that really quick, so that was awesome.
Yes, that tables are so fast. And then I think bar chart was kind of voted like best second chart to throw in. So yeah, I think let's maybe we can look at the negative reason and just see what is the most popular. And yeah, let's do that. Negative reason. You can also
and you're using something maybe that's relatively new, is the bar chart wizard. I think people might just like add a dimension, add a measure, but you're building it out and it's kind of directing you through this stuff, and showing you what the chart might look like in the end.
Yes, this is a new interface and it's relatively easy to use. So we can just do this, and then we find tweet ID or anything. I think tweet ID might be the easiest.
Yep.
And then we'll just choose count.
Through step, you can theme it. That's cool.
Yeah, boom. There's a chart, so we can see that number one is customer service issues, late flight, can't tell, canceled flight, lost luggage.
I would figure like lost luggage would be a lot higher. That seems to be a really, really stressful thing, but there's all kinds of reasons people run into issues.
Yeah, flight attendant complaints. I've never had a flight where I had a bad flight attendant. And
yeah, usually I don't remember that. That it just boom. The ones I think about like that, yeah, they're usually like over the top positive. Like they'll sing the security song, that type of thing, or they dance to it instead of just doing like the seatbelt thing. Yeah, you're right. I don't really. Maybe I haven't flown enough on different airlines to see any really bad flight attendants.
Yeah. Let's throw in a KPI. Do you think we should use the KPI designer or just go full tiles today?
I always like to have just a count of something so we know, and maybe it's good to see, because there's a table, just the count of like tweet IDs. So we know if we're looking at only really few, if you happen to like narrow in on something.
So we can do a KPI designer very quickly of just all of them, and then we can break it down using tiles.
Okay.
So we'll quickly add in a layer. Just be the text, and the text will be a count of all the tweet IDs.
Tweet IDs, yeah.
Yeah. Easy. Okay. And we can just add in another layer. It's usually good to name them, which I will do. Tweets, or else you can get lost very easily, and the text will just be tweets.
Somebody's saying, I wonder if this is in there. Crazy passengers seems to be the trend right now. That's what hits the news, right? Yep. Somebody's yelling at somebody else. I've never experienced that. It would be, to me, a really uncomfortable situation. I feel like if somebody just got up and was like yelling at the flight attendants or at another passenger. I haven't been in any of those situations, and I feel like I've flown a lot. People just like put their headphones in and just grimace through it all, I feel like.
Yeah, and so
But
now
I haven't flown in so long that I don't think I've hit all the stress of like COVID flying.
maybe times have changed.
Maybe.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
I'm not looking forward to it. I just don't want to take my shoes off anymore.
Yeah,
That's why I
right.
got TSA pre-check just so I didn't have to do that anymore.
It's funny, I saw a really funny tweet actually the other day saying you can always tell when an American is flying international because they'll just take their shoes off at security. They're like, you don't have to do this. You don't need to take off your shoes.
My brother and I definitely did that. We went to New Zealand many years ago, and it was just like nature by nature. We just started taking our shoes off, and they were so kind. They're like, "Well, yeah, what are you doing? You can put those back on now, huh? We have to put them on the conveyor belt? No. What do we have to put on it? Whatever you want." Like, it was just so friendly. No belts, nothing. It was just, yeah, you just walk through this little thing, you're good. And then the flight was right there. My God, it really can be easy.
And here I am. I'm just going to rearrange everything so people can see what is going on. And I will find it's not the height, number of tiles. Oh, no, it's width.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what your first things you do in tiles. It might be a little small, so I'm going to zoom in on your screen here so people can see.
Yes, and I can make these bigger, definitely.
Okay.
So people can see what is going on here. And right. Yes, okay. And then we'll just add another one, which will be, airline. And we'll say some, but you can just delete that sum. And yes, so
this is how many tweets that mention a particular airline.
yes, and you can make it more pretty. You can spend a lot of time in this, actually. We'll do this very quickly because we'll spend more time actually making our Twitter feed.
Okay.
But yeah, we can increase the font size so people can actually see.
And do you end up, it's interesting to see you develop a tile. I think everybody has a slightly different approach, and we're going to have a new version of it soon where it's going to be more within the wizard, fully building it out. But I think one of the first things I do is like, I add a border around it so that I know kind of what I'm looking at. Because from what I can see in your screen, there's nothing in there. It's just white, right?
Yeah, it's just white right now.
Yeah.
But we can always, change font color.
For those things, yeah. And that ends up creating like multiple KPIs effectively in each one. You can put whatever you want in there. And they become a filter, right? So you could just click on just Delta and see what their worst things are. It's late flights. Makes sense. But their customer service jumped down to second place instead.
Oh, that's interesting.
You said United, right, is what you flew on?
Yes, let's see what they have. Late flight. Oh, can't tell. Lost luggage. Oh no, that one jumped up.
But customer service is their worst one compared to Delta. I really like Delta. That's my favorite thing. Is the new beta tiles editor? Oh, new tiles editor in beta. I think we'll get in touch with Michael Nordstrom. He's likely skiing in mountains somewhere. I think when he takes a vacation, he goes and does something adventurous. When he's back, if he's not already, we'll get that available for folks to try out. I've seen previews of it, so it's going to make this stuff a lot faster and very, very visual. But we have lots of examples in tiles, I think, just over the course of Appy Hour.
I was thinking we add in a bar chart really quickly. I know there's the pie chart has some bad press, but it might be an easy way to see the sentiment and just watch all the pies change.
Right. That there's only so many choices for negative, positive, and neutral.
So we can see United. Ooh, they're more negative than average, and oh, Delta is good.
Nice. Up, down versus the average. That's kind of fun. It makes it very interactive.
Yes, it is. Virgin America. I've never flown with them, but maybe I should start.
Overwhelmingly positive, yeah. I've never gotten the opportunity to, or it's like a code share with another airline, I feel like. I think Southwest was like prior to the pandemic doing amazing, and I think that's where I've heard some of those like unruly passenger things come up. But maybe it was somewhere else.
What about U.S. Airways? Is that the one where Sully flew into the Hudson? Was that his airline?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Or did they have to no, it was like a real life story, right? They didn't make up a fake airline name like Oceanic Flight from like Lost or whatever. So it looks like a pretty healthy mix of things, just not as many people flying on Virgin. I mean, my other thing, I'll bring us back in so we can keep talking about it too, is do you think this data as it was collected, if it's just they have to mention an airline or an airport and then they grabbed it in this data set and then put the sentiment on it? Have you ever, tweeted about a good experience that you've had? I feel like more people will tweet about the negative things that happen. So there's like a bias already in the data.
I think so. Or I think if there is a positive, it might be like a competition or some kind of challenge. Like tweet what you like, and you might win free flights to, I don't know, some nice island. I imagine that's the only reason why people will tweet about a happy flight.
Maybe we need to just do that more. I feel like it would help that group out, and they're probably happy to see those things as well. And they're like, finally, a positive like comment versus all of the negative stuff that goes in. But I think they have to like go out of the way. It has to be really nice.
Yeah.
Like, what was the best part of your flight to Paris? Did you just snooze the entire time? You watch movies or anything like that?
Yeah, I just snooze. I guess the best part was that it was half empty, so I didn't have to share my armrest. I could
just like curl up and lay out on the seats.
Yeah, you can just do whatever you want. That was nice.
Yeah, that is really nice when they don't pack it, and then you get a little bit more room to spread out on those really long flights.
It was funny because on my way here, there was actually a strike for the caterers on the airplanes, and they actually apologized because they said, we had to get like a last minute caterer to come and do our meal. Sorry, this is not our normal service, but the food was amazing. I was like, they should go on strike more often because we had it was like gourmet. It was so nice and it was delicious. I was like, yeah.
Interesting opportunity, right? Like to prove themselves. Sure, it still pissed off a lot of people, like the people that were striking. Like that was the whole intent. Yeah, as another person wrote, people usually only speak out when their experiences are negative, unless they are asked to specifically speak about the positives. And got a comment on making 3 tiles for sentiment. Each tile has its own image, thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe we can do that in this Twitter feed one. You can put like a thumbs up or thumbs down if it's positive or negative.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. We can definitely do that. So we'll start by creating the dimension, which is just tweet ID. So this is going to be a unique ID that you want each tile to be, and then we can go in and start designing. So I think airline. Actually, we don't need the airline. I think maybe the tweeter is important, and also the text. So we can have text in there and throw in a date.
Yeah, when did they tweet about this? You got the...
It just says tweets 2.
What's tweets 2?
Huh.
Is that somebody's name?
Interesting. We can sort by name. Huh.
I don't understand where that one's coming from. It's not the tweet ID, right? Like you're not throwing that one in there.
No, it should be just the name. So yeah, we want to throw in name, text.
Try only, wrapping only around it. I know you can do it with just the brackets, but if you only parentheses name, so it just grabs the top one in case that's it. It might just be, there's a lot by tweet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was just throwing it in for a bunch of them come through that.
That's funny. Right. So we can have tweets too, and then we can also add in an @ sign.
Oh yeah, so it looks like their Twitter name.
Oh, oops.
Might need, did it not come through? Like an equal sign in the front. It's so that it's evaluating this.
Maybe it just needs some time to catch up. @ equal, okay. We can check that later, and then we can throw in the date. Where is that one? It might actually just be this date.
Just lowercase date. Yeah, that's the thing. Getting this data, there's always a little bit of data prep, so you have to go figure out what do they put in that field? Is it really named something? That's why the table helps, I think, initially to figure out what's in there.
Yeah. Oh. My internet's just slow. Everything's loading, which is great.
I see the @ symbol now.
So we can chuck that here. It's big. And we can definitely change the appearance.
Yeah, make it look like little Twitter blocks, right? That's where I think having the tiles background maybe is white, but the object background, could you do like the Twitter blue? I think it's one of the light blues is really close to it.
Yes.
Or you're going to get the exact Twitter blue.
I think, is that the, I think that's the Twitter blue.
And then if you give, I think I ended up doing margins more and more instead of borders. So it's in the margin shadows on that. And then just bump that up slightly and you'll give you some room in between them. And then they're like called out as tiles. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. This looks great. And it's getting cut off. So what we can do is just change there's a setting that says change the width.
Dynamic, I think, number of lines in the middle there. You can hit it or hit dynamic and it'll fill it out. Yes. But you want to give that object, right, a lot more space on the screen. Oh, you already did. So that's...
And we can make the text bigger.
Font, yeah. I end up using not the font size, because if I hand this app to somebody else, I'll do the view, and it's on pixel mode right now, but if you choose VW, it fits like a percentage of, or like a multiplier of it. So 1 is like full size font. Yeah, 0.75. That's very readable on the screen for me.
Okay, great. We'll do the same here.
Mm-hmm. That's who it's from.
And I believe it looks something like...
I bet that's a positive tweet, right? From JetBlue News.
Yes, it looks like they tweeted themselves.
We all do it. That's fine. And one of the suggestions, right, was to put in the like a thumbs up, thumbs down for positive or negative.
Yeah, let's throw in an icon. I only have the retweet count, but could we do maybe a heart for that instead?
There's an icon that looks like a recycle that I use for Twitter quite a bit, or for retweets especially.
We should do some. Oh, it's sad. Most of them are 0.
Yeah, that one's tough, especially if it was a slice of the data. Although you could just sort it by the retweets, right, and see which ones blew up. My guess is we're going to see a lot of big, really bad negative ones if it's sorted by retweets. And you have to go above tweet ID. There you go. Whoa, yeah, I saw something jump out there. You had it. It jumped to the bottom for some reason.
Ooh, okay.
There you go.
Perfect. And then we can just add in a little icon we'll do tweet count. And it'll just be an icon. And we have a ton of icons, so we can just search for cycle.
Yeah. No, I actually saw it right on the first page. It looks like a refresh. Maybe it's called refresh. It's yeah, that one there. I sometimes use that one. Or you could pull in the icon directly from Twitter. I sometimes do that and use the image layer. But the thing with that is it has to be web accessible, or you upload it into Qlik so you can use it from the content library. And then like change that, maybe like blue or something.
How is this
lay
looking?
this out anywhere that you want.
And we can add in a little retweet button on the side.
Yeah, make it even, take that viral US Airways flight delay. 3 Hill clicks, I want to go home. Wizard of Oz. And we can reshare that. US Airways, man, they have 2 of the top worst ones, it looks like. I mean, if you have an army of people at your organization that goes out and finds like positive comments about you online, and then they go and retweet it, it's going to raise this up in there. So there's ways to like game the system a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But we would see that. Maybe. Well, I don't think you have the super detailed data on like who retweeted it, right?
No, I don't think so. Definitely not. And let me change. I'll just do some padding, and we can add in a border around just this and make it look really good. And we actually had someone comment in the Twitter blue. Thank you so much. It's IDA1. Sorry, it's 1DA1F2.
Yeah. Perfect.
And we can just change the text color as well.
White, center it, and it needs to be bold. It looks a little small on my screen, but yeah.
And we can add in a border and just change the radius so it's quite circular. Yeah, that looks cool. And then we can add in an image, which we can just take from the internet. So we can just find a random like airplane PNG.
Oh, because you don't have, they didn't put the image to any, or image links in that data set.
No, right? They didn't.
That was something that when I've been running my Twitter apps for a while now, having to find the format of the Twitter data and the APIs that they have available, I was able to do that and add those things in. I don't know if I have an example of that. But if you can get that data, or if you're running your own like social listening application, I know organizations do that. You can get all that rich information and run like your own Twitter board of things that come in. Now it's Twitter, so you have to be obviously careful about what comes in. But you can use, Twitter's got really good like filtering of profanity and stuff like that you wouldn't want to get onto the screen if you're running like a big board. And I'll find one of my examples while you're doing that one too.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to try to figure out where the image, usually there's a link that pops up where there's a little space that says image URL.
Mm-hmm.
Appearance, data.
It's been a while since I looked at this stuff. It'd be good to get back in. That's not it.
Usually it's here. It was here this morning.
You can just put in, instead of the expression, you just put the URL there. You got to put quotes around it if it's just a single one. If it's dynamic, that's where we'd put in like a profile URL. And yep, equal sign. There we go.
Cool, that's perfect. And maybe we can see if we can add a border. I believe there's.
So if we had like their profile image, or if you had the airline and you had their logos, we could put which airline they're talking about as a little icon or image on each of the tweet tiles. That's even better than what Twitter does, right? You're improving like the Twitter feed by adding in some different imagery. And that can you try? I mean, we should put the sentiment so we can guess, I think, based by reading that, but put just the word of the sentiment on there as well as a new object.
Oh yeah, we can add in a little something at the bottom with
and then we can try to figure out how to do the icon, which there's only 3 options, so that might be just a really basic if statement. So there we know what it is. I mean, there's different ways you can do this. I might do it like if sentiment equals positive, and then do the emoji for like thumbs up, because you can use emojis in expressions. And it just writes it out as text.
Positive, yes.
If airline sentiment equals negative,
if And this otherwise.
And the last one is just neutral. Yeah, I don't think there's only 3 options, right? So you just need, is it positive, is it negative? Else it's just going to be whatever icon you want. You don't have to have a third one, I'm saying. Because then you're testing for it. Or are there sentiments not listed at all?
I don't believe so, but we can add in something.
Just in case, if it's other, yeah.
So we can add in maybe a smiley face if it's positive. Does that work?
You have a Mac, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have the touch bar on your Mac?
No.
Oh, okay. I think if you right click on a Mac, it'll give you the emoji like breakdown.
Ah, okay. I see it.
And you gotta search for it. I don't think I can see it on your screen if you're doing that. You do have the angry face, like the red emoji face.
Will be a nice surprise when you're able to see it. Neutral can just be neutral. This. Otherwise, we'll just have a, I don't know.
Question mark maybe, because maybe it's scored it as it doesn't know. Or neutral might be that catch-all too. That's kind of what I was thinking. Just based on your pie chart, it didn't have a null. It only had 3 options, right?
Yeah, there's only 3.
Oh, you're going to need it in brackets. Whatever that one is. Or quotes, yeah.
Good call.
Expression.
Takes 3 parameters. Did I do this wrong? Yes,
You need another parentheses, I think.
Got one.
Our emoji.
Moment of truth. Sometimes I need to reload and then it works.
You're on the demo server, I think, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would expect that you'd get faster experience than we do in the US now that you're back in Paris, but I don't know if your internet's just not as good there.
Interesting, it just got rid of everything.
Oh, I think it's the connection's not great.
Totally okay. Airline sentiment equals. Sorry for everyone who has to stay at home and watch me write a if statement.
Maybe just do positive and negative, and then we can leave the others.
And if.
But don't worry, others have experienced the same thing, it sounds like. Seeing in the comments. I've actually gotten to a point where if I've had really long scripts and statements, I'll just use a text editor, Notepad++ on Windows or Visual Studio, and keep a whole library of the stuff and then not have to worry about internet timing out or anything like that. Especially when I was traveling a lot on an airplane, you can't trust the Wi-Fi. Having to lose your work when you're in the middle of something big is just terrible. One more air. Yeah, single quotes around those. There you go.
Let me copy this.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yes. Okay, it worked. Amazing.
And then make it gigantic.
Oh, they're all neutral.
Is it, look to your pie chart, right? Is the word neutral or negative spelled? They're all lowercase. I see it in your chart, so I think you wrote uppercase letters, right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, changed. Awesome.
So top 3 retweets are all negative. Stop using this word if you're a company. Our fleet's on fleek. Oh man. They're trying to be too catchy with it. That's fine. So now you can see, oh, he just picked United. Nothing positive retweeted.
And then we can see
maybe the social team, whatever dates these were captured over, right? Companies need to think about this stuff, right? And listen to what people are posting. And I think it's always better. Like if you followed Wendy's when they have beefs with like Popeye's chicken and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You go at it, it's hilarious.
We should just do one about Wendy's. They're really sassy. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, you could search any of the words, so if anybody says Wendy's, you could find it. I'm gonna go back to the comments that came in before and see if we can find anything about Graham's least favorite was Frankfurt. I'll look up. You just try searching for Frankfurt, but I'll try to find an airport code just in case. I don't know that one offhand.
Frank.
FRA.
There is one.
Is it positive? Oh, there's a few.
So flying, New York to Frankfurt, neutral, neutral or angry.
And they're angry at United or US Airways only. Whoa, that's interesting. What's another one that was listed?
Let's see if Charles de Gaulle is in.
CDG. Oh, yeah. Delayed for, did I read 42 hours or something? Maybe it just it slid by. I've never had to run faster than at that airport to make my flight before. It's only once. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go. We'll stay maybe in Paris and make sure the layover is really long.
That's always a good call.
Yeah. Another one. Well, I mean, we have all our Heathrow and London. Doesn't look like there's British Airways, so maybe this is more centric, US centric data, but they are flying international.
Which also makes sense because I'm sure a lot of people tweet in different languages, so that will be really difficult to do.
Right. What about what's the other one? I mean, I didn't write my least favorite. I have a few.
Interesting. We have one that says, United, are you looking for European flight attendants for Frankfurt or Paris? And it was given a neutral.
Best. I mean, even the word best should be positively scored.
I'm interested to see how they collected this sentiment.
There's ways to score it. It's built into actually Qlik has a connector to a couple different sentiment scoring technologies. There's limits on these things because it has to send the text to that service. So you can't use it for certain things. Like if you're in healthcare, you can't send in this data because it will be read by even a robot, basically. But you can sentiment score anything on Twitter, and there's a couple different technologies that do it, and they're all slightly different. So I wonder if this one it didn't pick up on the right phrasing.
You can actually look at the confidence, and we'll quickly see
that Fabrice one, third one. Oh, yeah. It did come through. 0.0. No confidence. Well, it wasn't negative. That's what you're looking at, right? I see it in your table, which is nice to have that still. If it's a negative comment, they score it with a confidence level.
Okay, so this one says I have 2 tight connections in Charlotte and Frankfurt. It was given a negative, but it's very low confidence.
Definitely is a negative thing, I feel like. US Airways planned it that way. I always feel like they set you up for failure. Or they're in cahoots with the restaurants at the airports. They want you to stay, delay your flight by a few hours, get you to go buy stuff. No, I don't know. They're trying to pack people in. I think that's the main thing. Interesting. Yeah, I like the tiles is like, this is the best visualization I think to pull this stuff in. You could have the table of data. It's very boring and it can't really jump out. You could put color codes and indicators, but you're still scrolling through things like that. Here, it feels close to Twitter. You could start putting buttons and like the retweet. We didn't hook it up to an action, but you could pull in that information and have it actually do that. This is cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost out of time, but if we had more time, we can actually almost make this look exactly like Twitter.
Theme it out and everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see, we got a comment in here. You're able to replicate the Twitter feed so quickly. Customization of she's okay with the pie chart.
This one isn't so bad, so
no, yeah, it's pretty good. It's good ideas. You think we will you want to release this one at some point and share it? Like,
yeah, I think that
save up this page and then we and the team, can take another stab at it and just keep working on it a little bit more and then hand it out.
Yeah, or if anyone else, we can release it, and if anyone else wants to work on it, definitely send us your results.
Yeah, I know there's quite a few people, and in the Legends too, the Vizlib Legends have done Twitter analytics and sentiment. I think the one that I think seen that's closest to this is like Angelica has done a lot of airline related analytics based on flight capacity and those things for the pandemic. I'm not sure she likes to share that stuff so much, but just because we don't like talking about COVID as much as possible. But yeah, we should put this on our own stuff if we can figure out how to do the sentiment scoring and then see. We just don't have this volume of tweets, I feel like, yet. We'll get there.
Yes, one day. Tweet at Vizlib on Twitter.
At Vizlib, it'll go into our apps. I'll show that next time. Or we could do a live one because I have it refreshing it's every 15 minutes, but I can up it so it's every minute. If I do it for a short period of time, you don't run out of, Twitter doesn't shut it down. But if you do it too often, they'll find you. So you're basically taking data off the feed.
Okay.
So yeah, that's cool. Anything else you want to remind people?
No, that is all. Please stay tuned. We have more things coming. Yeah, we're so excited for you to join us for the new year.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it on Thursdays, right? That's our main day. People want to come on board and we can help you fix up your apps or you talk through a topic in data. I think we're definitely looking forward to having some new voices on this year and trying out some new things. And as soon as we get new features and like tiles and other extensions, I think we'll be able to highlight those two directly here and kind of cut our teeth on that stuff, which is always fun. So yeah, thanks Jane for running this as always.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Thank you for joining.
And, we'll talk soon. Thanks everybody.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye all.
Bye everyone.